Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sky Lounge Podcast, episode number 240. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. And also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 240. The incredible bubble booming, slamming, and jamming Sportsball Ballin! And kids, curiously enough, I wrote out the script with all the sports ball that I wanted to cover, but after doing a full fucking recording and realizing that, oh my god, I'm running out of time, I decided, fuck it, we're going to cut the shit in half, and this episode we're exclusively talking about what's been going on in the NBA, all the shit around basketball, and in episode 241, we're going to talk about every other sports ball shit, soccer, hockey, baseball, other goodies, right? But today, episode number 240, today, we're going to talk some NBA, motherfuckers. Yes! And the first bit of news that comes out through this week is free agency will be reportedly several weeks after October 18th because of possible impasses regarding union, perhaps CBA, things that they have to fix up, but such is the way in the era of the pandemic. And the big question regarding free agency for the NBA is, along with all these other sports that's going on right now, is will players see more moves? Will we see more players being traded or less players being traded because of the pandemic? And will there be more blockbuster moves or less blockbuster moves? I think there's going to be significantly less moves all around, but don't be surprised if you have at least half a dozen big blockbuster moves, just because, you have teams that honestly not in the playoffs, but still have playoff potential within a 6 to 12 month span. And hell, some of the draft results, draft lottery results, at least this week that came out, can attribute to certain teams, packaging a deal, getting something in return for a potential shot into next season. And yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens and how the league figures and wades through this whole shit. And yeah, let's talk about the NBA draft lottery and the 8 teams that got the top 8 picks. And usually we start this thing by going from 1 through 8, but I want to start from the bottom at number 8. Because the New York Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, went ahead and got the 8th overall pick. Dude, they had a 9.5% chance to get the number 1 overall pick, yet they got 8th. Okay, this is fucking funnier than the whole Zion Williamson sweepstakes last year, because that, as close as that was, sure, but this just feels like, wow, you were just as mediocre, if not worse, than your intentional tanking season, and with a damn near 10% chance to get the number 1 overall pick, you land an 8th. Holy shit. The luck of this franchise will never turn. James Dolan, COVID. Oh no. This is a shame. This is all fucking terrible. And he's still alive. I know the implication is fucked up, but the reality is, if James Dolan hypothetically died, okay, the Knicks might have been in a better situation. Madison Square Garden might have been in a better situation. But you are still stuck with a pretentious, pompous-ass owner with James Dolan. Congratulations, New York Knicks. You arrogant bunch of fucks. Man, dude, Knicks fans sometimes are insane. The mecca of basketball. Spike Lee always talking about that shit. It's the mecca of basketball. New York is the mecca of basketball. Dude, your franchise hasn't been relevant since the fucking 90s. And it hasn't been a mecca since the 70s. Get the fuck out of here with that goddamn talk. The mecca of basketball. Maybe the city in general, but not the fucking professional basketball team. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, New York Knicks. You guys are a goddamn clown show. Oh, look, we got a fancy Jeremy Lin. Oh, too bad it was a fucking 1-2 month goddamn trend. Nothing more. Oh, we got a Kristaps Porzingis. Too bad you have a fucking terrible executive fucking team up there in New York that fucks up that whole situation. New York Knicks, where hope goes to die. Oh, holy crap. I love it. I absolutely love it because the Knicks will just keep pretending everything is fine and, again, probably sign like 3 power forwards in free agency. The Knicks are so dog shit. They don't even realize that they're dog shit. That's why it's hilarious. That's why it's the best. Oh, man. I mean, at least a team like the Detroit Pistons, who got the 7th overall pick, kind of realized their shit. And yeah, I mean, it's a very simple question and assessment, right? Like, what the hell is the point of Detroit doing anything right now? Even if you make it to the playoffs, are you actually going to win a fucking series? Because you'll probably get in there as an 8th seed. And within the next 2-3 years, you're going to go up against who? Like the Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat. Boom, 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 boom. You're out. You're always going to be out. It doesn't fucking matter. So why? It's a mishmash of old and young players that always fart out. So yeah, that's Detroit. And again, same kind of mantra with the New York Knicks. Chest out, thumps out, yeah, we're the best. And fair play, man. As a Lakers fan, I could totally recognize why the Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons fans get all up in their shit and arrogant, especially against Lakers fans, because they beat us twice. Twice. Out of the 3 championships, the Detroit Pistons beat the Lakers twice. In 2 different decades. So, yeah, they always bring that shit up, but in the present and for quite some time, your franchise hasn't been relevant at all. So, enjoy that 7th overall pick. And with the 6th overall pick, you have the Atlanta Hawks, who you constantly question. When are you ever going to get your shit together? Oh, you got Trae Young. Great. You overvalued Trae Young over Luka Doncic. Congratulations. And even if you did get Luka Doncic, you would have fucking ruined his prime with your inadequate management skills all over the team. No real basketball philosophy. No real help for your star guard, star player. Not much to say about the Atlanta Hawks. You're kind of stuck in that forgotten mediocrity like the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, honestly, other than the Braves and Atlanta United FC, Atlanta Sportsball is just a very morbid and sordid thing to think about. But they'll keep trucking. They'll keep thinking, oh, we're going to do well and get to the 11th seed in the Eastern Conference. Yay. You're such a dick. Dude, the Eastern Conference is a fucking joke. It has been for about a good decade now. So don't get at me with the goddamn, oh, you're a dick thing. Look at the history. Look at the actual goddamn Hawks. Their acquisitions. Their records. It's a shame. It's a hilarious shame. And when you speak of hilarious, you have to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. 5th overall pick. A city that has known nothing but heartbreak. For goddamn 70 years! The only thing you have is LeBron James. The only thing you had was LeBron James. That 5th overall pick isn't going to bring him back. One day he might go back for shits and giggles. If Dan Gilbert ever sells the team, which I don't think he ever will. But LeBron James was your only dude. And now you're just rolling along. Oh, cool. Colin Sexton. Kevin Love. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, who's that one cat? Zizic? Lordy. Cleveland. Cleveland sports has such a prolific history, especially when it comes to football, in the 40s and in the 50s and 60s. But the Cavaliers, man, they just always been a heartbreak story. Yeah, and you got LeBron. So you can hold your head up high, kids, in Cleveland. 2016 will never go away for you. It'll always be the greatest meme in basketball in the last 20 years. So, yeah, hold your head up high as you drown in the river, Cleveland. And the 4th overall pick will go to the Chicago Bulls. And, okay, you're probably going to draft a pretty decent player at 4th. We'll probably add to more of that depth that you have with the young core of yours, your young group of cats that you got down there in Chicago. But this team feels like a perennial sub 500, and once they reach for the stars, they're going to just be barely above 500. I mean, I wish them well, but Chicago has really, really fallen off since the days of MJ. No, D Rose. No. Since the days of MJ, the Chicago team has been nothing. Will they come back into relevance? I don't know. I have no idea. Again, even if they do, Toronto, Boston, Miami, bloody fucking, I'm missing somebody. Milwaukee, Boston, Toronto, Miami. Yeah, there you go. Christ. You forget shit. Like the irrelevant team who got the 3rd overall pick in the Charlotte Hornets. MJ! Mike! The GOAT! Who are you going to overreach for? Michael Jordan, president of basketball operations, part owner of the Charlotte Hornets. Horrible fucking basketball executive. Absolutely terrible. The Last Dance will try to erase that entire fucking history for Michael Jordan, but it is there in your face. And with this 3rd overall pick, I will fucking guarantee you, Michael is going to overreach for some stupid-ass player, and that player will not pan out in 3-4 years, and you're going to see Charlotte just diarrhea themselves each and every step of the way. Just this history of the team. And you learn a lot from history, kids. You do. Like a team that won the 2nd overall pick, they have a very recent history of being the epitome of greatness in this league. They were your fucking Western Conference champions for 5 years straight. But they completely fell off after the 2019 finals and the subsequent injury bugs that hit the team like a fucking plague. Ironically, we're in the year of the pandemic, but the pandemic started very early for the Golden State Warriors and the ankles and ACL and all the fucking crazy ass injuries that can happen to a basketball player. But getting the 2nd overall pick for the Golden State Warriors can imply a lot of things. I mean, obviously, with the history of their scouting department, they can absolutely, use that draft pick to get a star caliber player and develop them in that team. Or what seems to be the more logical option is, hey, you're going to get Steph back. You're going to get Clay back. You're going to get Draymond back. You got your core guys there. So why not use that 2nd overall pick and perhaps next year's 1st round pick or a couple more to get a really big fucking package? And I would say the Warriors are definitely needing a very dominant 5. And who better to put in that lineup than a guy like, I would say, a Yusuf Nurkic, a Rudy Gobert. I mean, hell, if you can get, what's another versatile dude, like Miles Turner. I think the Warriors are definitely going to be in contention if they want to finesse the package like that. So very curious to see what the Warriors will do. And yeah, all those goddamn fuckboy fans are going to come back and just be annoying dipshit assholes after they spent the season with the Lakers again. Yeah, I know how you fucking fuckboy fans work. So once the Lakers disappoint you this season, why don't you get the fuck out? Us real Lakers fans will stick around through the tough shit and the fun shit. That's what real fans do. Oh, Warriors fans. Most of you can't justify your shit. You try, and it's admirable. I mean, some of you are like legit fans. You focus on the fucking team. Kudos to you, but good majority that I've met, mm-mm. Brain dead when it comes to their team. But when we use the word brain dead, I want to associate that word with the number 1 overall pick team. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Ooh-wee! The Minnesota Timberwolves get the number 1 overall pick. And my first question is, how are you going to ruin this pick's career? How will you ruin their career? Minnesota, you have a history of fucking up your star players. Complete, prime in your fucking franchise. Christian Laettner, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Love, Karl Anthony Towns, and now this kid, the number 1 overall pick, whoever it may be. And holy hell. Every time the Timberwolves get hyped up to some level of, competence, they shit the bed. They get dysentery and just flail around and die. If you have Jimmy Butler in your lineup and he looks at your star guys and says, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, I'm out, there's a problem in that team. Like, Cat, I understand. He's a great player. Yeah, number and stat-wise, he's a great player. But the mentality and the drive, he doesn't have it. He doesn't. He's not a franchise guy. He's more of like a second he's a second goddamn passenger. He's a 2B, not even a 2A. Like the fucking Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert relationship. This motherfucker is Rudy Gobert. You need a Donovan Mitchell. You need that alpha. Minnesota doesn't have it. Hell, they don't know how to fucking discern that shit. They don't know anything. And again, that's why I ask, how are you going to ruin that number 1 overall career's pick's career? You're going to do it. Guaranteed. Come back in 3-5 years. It'll happen. That player's going to say, I want to get the fuck out of here. Cat already left 2 years ago. Why can't I fucking leave? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude, imagine Cat. The Golden State Warriors. Oh, my God. And then the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves not just pick one player to ruin their career. They'll pick 2 fucking players to ruin their careers. Holy fuck. I could totally see that happening, kids. I could totally see that happening. But you know what? Despite how much of a smartass I can be and how certain times I can, predict certain shit to the T. You're welcome. There are things I get wrong all the time. And the round 1 series in the NBA playoffs so far, some of them have been very interesting. Some of them very unexpected. Much like how the Orlando Magic took game 1 against the Milwaukee Bucks, but the series is tied at 1-1 because game 2, normalcy came back. Yeah. The Magic were doing well in game 1. And then the Bucks just said, fuck it. Well, let's just show up. let's just actually play today and win. Game 1 was Deus Ex Machina. Game 2 was reality. And yeah, probably a 4-1 win for the Bucks. I'd be fucking shocked if the Bucks get knocked out. Oh boy, then you can have the whole, quote unquote conspiracy of Giannis getting moved to the Golden State Warriors, which would be a goddamn nightmare situation for the West. But we'll see how that series goes, kids. But one series that we don't really have to predict at all is the inevitable sweep that'll come from the Toronto Raptors against the Brooklyn Nets. And, I can't really shit on the Brooklyn Nets, at least the core that I believe is really the identity of this team. Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Joe Harris. And I know you goddamn NBA fuckboys are going to say, well, what about KD? What about Kyrie? What about DeAndre Jordan? I will honestly argue that the Brooklyn Nets really shot for, big name free agents instead of signing key pieces that will fit into their lineup and progress the core that's been growing in that organization. I mean, specifically with Kyrie, putting him into that team, it's only going to end horribly. That dude is a fucking cancer. And moving forward for the Nets after this inevitable sweep, I think you're going to start looking at that Kyrie contract within the coming months. You're going to realize that, oh, wow, KD still got it, even at what, like potentially 85, 80% of what he can really full on do. But Kyrie he's going to become a fucking locker room nuisance. It's happened everywhere he's gone. And yeah, for the Nets, there would be some tough questions to ask moving forward. Who do you move out? And I think incorrectly, management is going to move off a piece like Joe Harris or a guy like Dinwiddie and just completely fuck up that team's identity and ruin them for the long run. But contrast to them, I think what the Toronto Raptors have been able to do with this squad has been unbelievable. And I've actually said this a couple of times with a couple of my friends that I think the Raptors can really make a push for back-to-back championship. I really think they can. And it's crazy because I think even without Kawhi, the Raptors look like a great team. I mean, they look better without Kawhi at times. That's the crazy part. And this dominant win in this series doesn't guarantee them, a spot in the finals or, even the Eastern Conference finals. But it just shows me the Raptors they're buttoned up. They're ready. They've been ready and they're kicking ass. And don't count them out. I know everyone keeps saying the Bucks, but the Raptors are looking mighty dangerous and they look really, really good. So don't you fucking count out goddamn white chocolate. Freddie VanVleet. Beast man himself. Raptors, man. Fucking Raptors. Watch out for that shit. And you have this next series in the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers where the Heat is up in their series 2-0. And the question is, will the Pacers stop the bleeding? Possibly. I could see the Pacers at least winning one or two games, but ultimately I think the series will become Miami's. Obviously, if Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero can have massive games in massive, points and nights in Game 3, yeah, Pacers could be heading home out of the bubble real soon. So that should be a fun series to watch. Has been a very fun series to watch. Very contentious, very fun. And then you look at a series like the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. It's not really fun more than it's more of like a very recycled, repeated Shakespearean drama. Like who? let me ask you this shit. Who the fuck actually thought the process was a good idea? Raise your hands. Show of hands. Anybody. Who thought the process was a good idea? Nobody. Hey, let's fail for half a decade and accumulate picks. Whom, by the way, these picks, over 70% of them, they'll be flops. But we're going to fail. We're going to take our fans' money and be shit. But eventually we'll be good. And I remember Philly fans, once they made it to the fucking postseason a couple years back, it was pandemonium. It was the greatest fucking thing ever. Oh, it's Camelot! It's the greatest feeling ever! Like, really? This is the greatest feeling ever? My God, the era of Dr. J must have been thousands of years ago then. Good Lord. And this process has landed with, guess what? Ben Simmons, who's hot and cold. I mean, in terms of shooting, he's dog shit. You got a Joel Embiid who's a monster fucking center when he's healthy and when he feels like being a good fucking player. And then the fucking cherry on top, Tobias Harris and Al Horford for damn near $300 million fucking dollars. Wow. That's the process. Oh, you must be such a great team. No. Constant exits in the playoffs from heartbreaking ways. And you know what? I honestly don't think this Boston Celtics team is all that good after looking at these 3 games. Now, will they be a tough opponent in round 2 in Boston Celtics? Yeah, probably. But in this series, it just shows me that, okay, the Philadelphia 76ers are shit and the Boston Celtics are sloppy at times. Will they probably manage all that sloppiness out by game 4? Perhaps. But yeah, dude, the 76ers are trash. I don't know what else to say. Probably other than, Ben Simmons might be on the move real soon. That's what I'd imagine just because of the friction that, him and Embiid's got. And you can't pay all 4. You can't pay Harris, Horford, Simmons, and Embiid all at the same time, along with depth guys that you absolutely need. So, good luck, 76ers. Good luck with that shit. You fuckers suck. You're so shit. And so, let's move on to the Western Conference, where the Clippers are up in their series against the Dallas Mavericks 2-1. And Luka Doncic was actually limping out of game 3 after he rolled his ankle. Now, that bums me the fuck out as a Luka Doncic fan. And, within the 3 games that I've been watching this Clippers team, I gotta say, they're not all that good. They look like a team that's just real scrappy. Maybe 1 or 2 possessions they get lucky, and that's really it. Because this Dallas Mavericks team, they don't look like they're going to go away. I mean, of course, if Luka Doncic is out, we're going to definitely know after the MRI. But if Luka Doncic is out, this team is fucked. So you got to hope Luka's good. Because with Luka, it makes a difference. Now, the one issue with the Dallas Mavericks is not Porzingis and Doncic. It's the depth. It's depth players. It's bench players. It's role players. They got to do their part. Seth Curry has been pretty brilliant. But guys like Maxi Kleber, who's that kid? JJ Barea, Boban. I mean, they all got to show out. They got to fucking come out, man. I mean, the Clippers got Kawhi, dude. Kawhi went off in game 3, so got to figure it out. And yeah, a salty Lakers fan just hitting on the Clippers. Dude, just watch their games. They're not all that impressive. And yeah, when we talk about the Lakers, I will fully admit their fucking flaws. But before we get to them, let's talk about 2 other series real quick. The Denver Nuggets taking on the Utah Jazz, and the Jazz have a 2-1 series lead, to my surprise. And the biggest surprise was game 3, where the Utah Jazz slayed the Nuggets by 37 points. 37 fucking points. Man, Donovan came to play. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the Nuggets. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Is it defense? Is it players? Is it depth? I don't know. Whatever it is, you got a rough series ahead of you. Game 4 is going to be pivotal. Jokic, Murray, all those other guys got to come together. And you got to figure out the Conley situation, man. Not just the Gobert and the Donovan Mitchell situation, the Conley situation. He's not bad. It's actually pretty damn good. Although when you look at the salary stuff, it's just kind of a mess situation. But that's how it goes, kids. That's how it goes. And right now, how it goes for OKC is being down 2-0 against the Houston Rockets and thinking, can they stop the bleeding, and is this over for OKC? I don't know. I hope not, because I don't really care for Houston. But I will fully admit, I was wrong about Houston. They've been pretty good in the first 2 games. But OKC, I mean, they've been a pretty fun underdog throughout the season. I'm hoping that they could make this an exciting series, 6-7 games. But it's going to be a very interesting and pivotal game 3 that we have on our hands on Saturday. And Saturday, we will have game 3 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers. And yes, that series is tied 1-1 because the Portland Trailblazers kicked the Lakers' ass in game 1. And in game 2, the Lakers woke the fuck up. And now Damian Lillard has a finger injury. And reportedly, he will be playing game 3. But I just got a question with the Lakers. Why the fuck are you assholes so fucking arrogant and gimmicky as shit? It doesn't help the cause of winning a championship. It only creates unnecessary bullshit and baggage that you don't need as a team that's already hated on, that's already, the most prolifically toxic fucking team in the NBA. But yeah, continue your gimmicky shit. Capitalize off Kobe's death, because of course that's what basketball does, dude. I mean, they capitalize off Kobe's death for everything. 2K, I mean, ESPN, and now in Game 4, reportedly the Lakers, actually they did full on announce this, they will be wearing the special edition Black Mamba jerseys on August 24th, Kobe Day, which whoop-de-fucking do. Whoop-de-fucking do. For me, if you want to honor Kobe, stop all this fucking pageantry and gimmicky bullshit. Just fucking focus on the goddamn championship. Shut the fuck up and just goddamn play. But you motherfuckers are going to bump your chest, say all this bullshit. I'm not talking the politics. I'm just talking the general vibe of this team. It's the most arrogant fucking team. Starts with LeBron James. Kind of goes to Frank Vogel. And yeah, I'm just being a critical, cynical asshole. But it's because I want this team to fucking win. And that lax nature that they showed out in Game 1 was pathetic and infuriating. And I hope the Lakers never do that shit again. But who the fuck am I kidding? It's the goddamn Lakers. Led by passive-aggressive LeBron James, who's going to fucking blame everything and everyone except himself. So there you have it, folks. Good old NBA action. It's fantastic. Because ultimately, kids, basketball goodies. They can only keep out the goddamn politics. But you got LeBron James, so probably not. Yeah. But kids, on the next episode of the Sky Lounge, I am, like I've mentioned, splitting the Sportsball segment. So this episode, we talked all basketball. Next episode, we're going to talk other segments of sports, football, NFL, hockey, Major League Baseball. So be on the lookout for that. Might come out early, might come out late. Be on the fucking lookout. It's going to be there. Woo! So, boys and girls, that does it for me. All right, motherfuckers. I appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. And also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And until next time, fuck off.